Alright everyone, welcome back to another episode of The Glass Off. I was fortunate enough to meet up with Dan Thompson this week and pick up his latest offering, the Mindcraft from Tomo and Slater Designs. Zach hasn't seen it yet. Got it in this board bag below me. I think his head's going to pop when he sees it.
Alright, I'm a bit nervous to be honest, because Finley showed me a photo of this one. I haven't actually seen it in the flesh, and I'm a bit skeptical on like the roundedness of the nose. I think a lot of people are a bit skeptical on that. I haven't really ventured past a high performance shortboard before. So I'm going to rip the lid off, have a look, see what the damage is. It could be incredible, it could be worst evers, I'm not sure. But this is the first time I'm actually seeing this, okay? It's smaller than I thought. It looks sick. Like I really like an epoxy. The rails feel nice. Visually it looks incredible. There's a lot going on. Like there's a wing, there's 4 fins to start off with. The stringer is not there, or carbon stringer. It's super flat, like a little bit of lift at the end. Game on. Let's give it a go.
So we got 5 fins set up on this thing. We're going to run it as a quad first. We've got the Kelly Slater and Endorphins in that Tomo lent us. He reckons these are a good starting point. Both me and Zach haven't spent much time on quads, but we're going to give it a run, and then we will do some thruster sessions on it also.
All right, here at Leno Beachies, it's probably 2 foot, super glassy, super playful summer kind of feel. So I'm not exactly sure. I'd have to read the brochure on what this board actually performs well in, but I'm thinking it's going to be going pretty good out there. Like really cuppy, fun little pocket to play with, and this kind of looks like it's going to feel like it's going to fit into that a bit nicer. But nice.
Fresh out of the water, mate. Talk to me.
Interesting. Definitely has its moments. Fuck, it's super drivey. Really drivey off the bottom. Once you like that first bottom turn, it really excels you down the line. I don't know if a quad in this kind of conditions is suitable. I think we're gonna have to paddle out and give the thruster a go, but yeah, there's elements I like, there's elements I'm still questioning. There's a lot going on. For example, like I don't really ride, I think this is a rounded pin or even like just a round tail. I haven't ridden a round tail in years. Even epoxies, I haven't been on an epoxy in probably 2 years. So I'm still trying to figure it out. There's definitely elements that I'm loving, and there's elements I'm still figuring out, but it'll be good to give the quad a go maybe at the point, and then head back out today on a thruster and see if that gives it a little bit more agility in the pocket. I feel like it was getting me to where I want to go, but when I get to where I want it to be, it was a little difficult at times. So we'll swap it up, see how it goes.
Zach finally left me with the onshore, so I'm about to head out now, get a couple. It still looks fun. Still got the quad in, gonna run that, keep the experiment fair, and then we'll switch to thrusters afterwards and try that out. But I'm excited. See you soon. Fresh out of the water, first up on a beachy on the Mindcraft. Three things that I was really impressed with straight away. The first, which is a big one for a lot of people, is the paddle power of the board. With that reduced nose, all that foams under your chest, and I found that it was really easy to actually catch waves and get into waves. Secondly, just how fast the board was. There's one wave in particular where I did one turn and kind of came out of it and just put my foot right in the sweet spot, and it ejected me straight down into the next section, and that felt really positive. And then the third was watching Kelly and Stab in the Dark. He's really talking about how he likes a board to put him on the part of the wave where he wants to be at all times, and you can really feel in this board that he's kind of achieved that with Tomo. It's so responsive. You kind of put it exactly where you want it and it'll go there. So yeah, three real big things. I had a little bit better of a surf than Zach did. Zach's about to head back out now on the thruster, see what he can do. But very good start for the Tomo.
guys, the Mindcraft. I went into this experience with a fair few questions. Obviously the nose is different, the tail is different, it's got a wing here. Unfortunately for me, I've still got questions. I don't think I quite understood what aspect of the board was contributing to the way it was feeling for me. I rode it as a quad and it felt incredibly drivey, which makes sense, being a quad. Although I felt like when I needed it to be extremely tight in the pocket with the quad, it didn't seem to love that, but I did swap it out fairly quickly to give the thruster a go in the same conditions to see if it was gonna feel noticeably different, and it did. It definitely felt a lot tighter and nicer in the pocket as a thruster. Still felt small, and just a full disclaimer, this surfboard is not a custom surfboard for myself. I'm about 85 kilos and 5'11". So whether this board is probably a little too small for me, I'm not sure. It definitely floated me pretty nicely. I didn't feel like it paddled or it was sinking when I was paddling. It put me above the water, which felt really nice. And the deck held up really nice as well. I've tried a few airs on this and thought I might have snapped it about 3 or 4 times, but the deck held up remarkably well. My roundup of this surfboard, the Mindcraft, is if you're someone that's looking to spice up their surfing, I think this is a really good board. If you're someone who is looking to just get a one-hit wonder that's going to work in 1 foot to 6 foot and only have a budget for around 1 or 2 surfboards a year, I'm going to say this might not be yours. But in saying that, if you are someone who's looking to try out different things and get experimental, this board's definitely on the list of boards to try. I don't think it's a groveler. I think it can still surf small waves really well. Putting this surfboard in a category of intermediate to advanced above, I wouldn't be recommending this to someone who is learning to surf or has just been surfing for a couple of years.
Okay, final wrap up of the Mindcraft. Overall, genuinely really impressed with this surfboard. For saying that's so small and so strange looking, it surfs awfully a lot like a normal surfboard. I personally, having not spent much time on a quad, really enjoyed this surfboard, maybe even more so than I would have on the thruster. I thought it was really fast, yet still really controllable, even with that missing back fin. And I just found it held really well still. I did ride it as a thruster also afterwards. Felt normal, which I guess is a good thing. It felt like a normal surfboard. I just liked the extra spark that we got from the quad. I had session 2 out Lennox Point in pretty small little inside runners there, but I feel like that's a really perfect style of wave for this surfboard. You don't want it too big. I'd say any bigger than sort of solid 4 foot, you're probably going for something a bit longer, and maybe not in the epoxy, but anything under 4 foot with a bit of punch, I found to be just really fun. Surf number 3 was at Northwall, probably the worst of the conditions that I surfed, although still the board held its own. I really don't think that this is a groveler in that it's not really a fat wave surfboard. You don't want it with waves that are not overly powerful. You still want a bit of punch, but just in that sort of 2 to 4 foot range when the waves are still a little bit steep, it just performs really well. I'm really happy with this. Obviously me and Zach had a few slight disagreements on this board over its performance. I was a lot more high on it than he was. One thing that we both do agree on though is how well this surfboard held up. It's actually quite remarkable. We are both board ruiners. Zach especially, he goes through a lot just from doing airs out into the flats and putting his body through them. I am really heavy on my front foot, and for there to be, it might be hard to see on this, but for there to be almost no compression dents in the surfboard is really quite crazy. For something that I thought was going to be really, really strange to ride, it surfed really normally, which overall is a positive. And yeah, I'd have no hesitation in recommending this to someone who was surfing beaches a lot or small point breaks and wanted to spice up their surfing a little bit. So yeah, really happy.